Hey all, hope everyone's well. You're down with Soulseeker and this is Diablo for you. We're in a Nightmare 100, a very quick Nightmare 100, mainly because it was just a very quick dungeon. I'm using my trusty Ahavarion Spear of Lycander, of course, with Tal Rashes and X-Falls, and I'm testing a buff to shrine duration in this. I've dropped Esus for boots with 18%, and I've got 22% on my amulet. We'll have a look at the gear after this. Until then, enjoy the run. Well, there you go, Nightmare 100 in 1 minute 45. I'm super cautious with the Sea Hag because those summoning pools just keep getting me. And Ariel's Visage, of course, for my helm. My chest, with the ever-living aspect, has good stats with nearly 15% to damage, good defensive skills, and of course, armor. My gloves with the aspect of control focus on attack speed, crit strike chance, lightning crit damage, and lucky hit to primary resource. These pants have got great defensive stats. I've got 4 ranks to Ball Lightning, and I'm using the Disobedience aspect. My boots have got good stats to movement speed plus movement speed after killing an elite. The whole point of these is the 18% buff to the shrine duration, plus I've got some mana cost reduction, and I'm using the Bounding Conduit aspect for more movement speed after teleporting. And the star of the show, the Ahavarion Spear of Lycander. Amazing stats on this, of course, with a massive buff to damage, attack speed, crit strike chance, and a lucky hit of 42% chance to stun. I think for the Abattoir of Zur, which is coming up very soon now, this is going to be pretty much OP. It's going to be like D3 Griff style, where you're kind of farming a pylon and keeping something for the boss. This has a great synergy with Ball Lightning too. And my amulet has buffs to movement speed and damage with a 22.5% buff to shrine duration and 3 ranks of glass cannon, and I'm using the gravitational aspect. Really excited for the Abattoir of Zur as mentioned, which launches tomorrow, December the 5th. I'm going to be pushing and testing builds, and I'll post videos of what works best. Not a bad roll on my rashes. I've got 14%, so for the 4 types of elemental damage that we can proc, I've got a 56% damage boost. For cold, I'm using Ice Blades. For fire, I've got Firebolt, Enchantment and Flame Shield. Lightning, we've obviously got covered, and I've stopped using Infection now because I've got Ariel's Visage to proc poison. Decent stats as well on my X-Falls, and I love the explosions. And we move on to the skill tree. We start things off with 2 ranks to Firebolt, which is our first enchantment. Then we move to our second enchantment, which is Chain Lightning to help us get more crackling energy, of course taking Enhanced, and then Destructive for 30% more chance of crackles, which in turn will give us more mana. We then put 1 point into Devastation to get to Elemental Dominance, 3 points in this, and get 9% damage to our mastery skills when cast above 50 mana. Then we put 3 points into Potent Warding for a buff to our resistances and maximum resistances to the element of that type. Then we have 1 point into Flame Shield and 1 point into Enhanced. Moving from there down to Teleport, of course we take Enhanced Teleport, and then we take Shimmering so we get 30% damage reduction for 3 seconds. I've got 3 ranks into Glass Cannon, but that's from my amulet. Then 1 point into Elemental Attunement and 1 point into Ice Armor. Of course we take Enhanced and then Mystical, so we're going to get a buff to our mana regen and 50% buff more to our Ice Armor barrier. Then we put 2 points into Precision Magic for a 10% buff to Lucky Hit, 1 into Ice Blades to proc cold on our rashes, then Enhanced and Summon for the cooldown. Then 1 rank into Align the Elements so we can get the awesome combo of Mana Shield and Protection, and we put 3 points into each of these. Then we put 1 rank into Inner Flames to get 3 ranks into Devouring Blaze, which gives 21% increased crit against burning enemies, 30% if immobilized. As many ranks as possible into Ball Lightning. Then we have Enhanced, and then we take Wizard's Ball Lightning for the extra crackles. Then we put 1 rank into Static Discharge, and 3 ranks into the amazing Invigorating Conduit. This is awesome and gives us 12 mana when absorbing crackles, really good source of mana generation. Then 3 ranks into Fiery Surge for even more mana generation, and from there to Unstable Currents for a boost to attack speed and faster crackles, then Prime for even more attack speed, and Supreme for even faster crackles. Then 3 ranks into Coursing Currents for a boost to crit, 3 into Electrocution for some more DR, and I've got 1 in Convulsions for some more chance to stun. And finally, I'm using Overflowing Energy, so when our crackles hit an enemy, our shock skills cooldowns are reduced. I really hope you found this useful so far. If you have, please like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, please post them in the comments. And we move on to the Paragon board. I really can't take credit for this. This is made by people a lot cleverer than me. I've just made a few changes here and there. Our starting board has Enchanter as the first glyph for a buff to non-physical damage and maximum resistance. Our second board is Static Surge, and we use Territorial for a good boost to our offense and defense. Onto our third board, which is Enchantment Master, and we use the Elementalist glyph. This is great. Dealing Fire, Cold or Lightning increases all our damage we deal by 5%, and it works amazingly well with Rashers. Our fourth board is Frigid Fate, and we're using the Exploit glyph, and we're going to get even more damage to Vulnerable. Our fifth board is Burning Instinct, and we use Destruction for extra crit strike damage, plus our crits increase all damage by 2% for 5 seconds up to 12%. And onto our final board, which is Ceaseless Conduit, and our glyph is Flamefeeder, which gives us extra damage against burning enemies and everything's burning. And finally we'll have a quick look through my stats. And my Vampiric Powers are Domination, Undying, Accursed Touch, Call Familiar, and Prey on the Weak. Thanks for watching. I really hope you found this useful, and I hope to see you again. Can't wait for the Abattoir of Xur tomorrow. Oh, please like and subscribe as well, that will really help. And yeah, take care, until next time.